This episode of Speakers of Hydaelyn is made possible by our generous patrons. Special thanks to our supreme and master speakers, Circa Barakeel, Remy Asalia, Saray Cypher, Omechi Cat Comet, Erisu Yamakawa, Nina Grimstadter, Casey Schaefer, Daimos, Cesar Philolirafu, Lily Black, Hans Grenade, Sapa Chakwatol, Azuta Starbreeze, Faris Gentoru, Cletus Oreo, Quick Levin, Sayori Snowfall, Luke Leonatrell, Stella Bell, Ceres, Icy Lee, Lyria Rain, Pamela Isley, Umbral Wind, Naive Arino, Celeste Raskris, Elenriel Maximus, Edwin, Bob CC, Celestia, Fabson Voidworm, Yuling Jung, Raimi Maverick, Code Red No, Mira Miri, Winebow Brood, Babe Arbelay, Kaisa Regina, and AJ Brainswordson. Support the show and become a patron today at patreon.com/speakersxiv. Thank you.
This is Speakers of Hydaelyn.
Good evening, AOR students. Welcome to Speakers of Hydaelyn episode 194. I'm Lakeel Bravestone, and I'm joined today by Rolodes Georgi Wiston and Mela Vanadar. Hi. This is another episode in the Drought. Today we're going to hold a great discussion. We'll talk about the staggered patch cycle that we're in right now, and how I guess we'll talk about how to survive it, and how we feel about it. We'll also read an interview with Yoshi-P and Mogi. I know there's been a lot of interviews with Yoshi-P and Mogi, but this is the last one. So we will read that today, and we will, of course, read your MogMail. Stay tuned if you're watching live for the post-show. We'll be reading questions from the Syndicate, and I believe we might have time today to do the tournament bracket, or continue the tournament bracket for Dungeons, so stay tuned for that. In channel updates, we have some dates that we need. Well, these are all except for one are for patrons, Suprema Masters. We will be doing our Eurovision streams on the 12th and 14th. We will give you the times soon. I believe it's close to the usual time, like a stream time, I believe. I'm not sure, actually, when the broadcast date is for Eurovision, but we'll give you more information when we get closer to the date. There will be another 1.0 stream on the 21st. It's going to be similar to the last one. We're gonna explore Kurthus. And also talk about Fallen Rise, which should be out by then. So I'll be answering questions about that as well. On the 28th, we will have the movie night. Make sure you vote. Wait, sorry. No, you can't vote yet. Make sure you suggest movies. Go to the Patreon chat. Click on pinned comments. Should be a link there to a form. If you're a patron, you can add your suggestions there. Now for the last one, tomorrow is Gillionaire, so make sure you apply for the champion thing. The prize is the Rubelite Carbuncle
Yes.
mount, and it's account-wide, so make sure you apply there as well. All right.
Maybe you'll win.
There we go. Also want to point out that the Eurovision thing, yes, Eurovision is cancelled, but they have this other, they're doing this, they're just showing the entries in like a slightly reduced version of the normal Eurovision show. So we'll be covering that, and then we will do the scores and all that, and we will announce our own winner. Okay, what have we done in 14 this week? Who wants to start? Rollo, I'm starting this way today. What have you done?
And this is the week I actually didn't do much.
Oh, wow.
Honestly, I was just doing like main scenario to try and level up. Who's it? Dragoon. That was mostly just it.
Yeah.
That was
Okay.
I've been mostly either working or playing some other games, so I'm not doing 14s.
Okay. That's
How do
fair.
you feel about Dragoon?
It's all right.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've never
Glowing.
I've never felt like particularly strong about Dragoon. It's
I
just-
never have. No.
It's a if you like positionals and also getting locked in animations,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it
the
feels
job for
good.
you.
Yeah. Georgi?
I have done a little bit of Gunbreaker leveling on my Ragnarok character. It's nothing that I haven't already leveled on my main, so I don't really have anything new to say about it.
Okay.
I like Gunbreaker.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Mela?
I've done
Mm-hmm.
whatever we did yesterday.
You did some roulettes. You've done roulette.
I think I've done
Did
more.
No. He
I
did
did
a
roulette.
roulette.
Oh, a
Yeah.
roulette.
No, we did trials as well, I think.
I
Yes.
thought you left before that.
No, we did trials.
I did trials.
So
I think I've done more gate than anything else this week.
Yeah, you have.
Jeez.
I've actually been doing quite a lot this week, but it's mostly just
Oh,
leveling, so it's not that
no.
fun. I finished leveling Bard and been leveling Red Mage. It's 77 now. And I must say, I'm tired of getting Castor Meridianum on my main scenario roulette. Because that's seemingly all I get now. But I did this weird thing yesterday that I haven't done in a long time. I used to, maybe like once a month before, I used to do this, but I haven't done this in a while. Late at night, I will sometimes decide to do the walk, which is this almost a ritual that I do. I teleport to Ul'dah, and then I turn off my HUD, and I just walk from Ul'dah to... I went to Kurthus with music off, everything else turned way up, and I fucking walk. I walk from Ul'dah to Kurthus through the longest... Yeah, RP walking, basically.
Oh.
And I do it late at night because there's hardly anyone on. So I'm just like walking alone. I did that yesterday.
Any reason for that?
No.
Or you just
I just thought
No?
sometimes it's just nice. I like Eorzea, and sometimes I just look at things and I like remember things because it's very nostalgic. It's a realm reborn, so
Yeah.
there's a lot. I've done a lot of shit in these zones. I went to Thal's Respite, which is a place I never
Oh, yeah.
go to anymore. I went to that little area behind where, in central Fanland, behind Camp Blackbrush. Is it called? Was it called now? Blackbrush Station.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like that refugee thing, and if you go behind there, there's like a cave as well where you can go inside.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I went through there.
cave with all the hogs, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I've walked that route many times, so it's like I know that way. And then I look at the signs. I'm like, yeah, these signs do point to the right place. Yeah. So it's probably
nice to know.
really boring for most because I don't even have music on. I'm just walking and listening to the ambience.
Well, the music
do
part
a-
seems kind of weird.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the part I don't like because I do a similar thing, except I don't walk because I don't have the patience for that.
I love it.
I still mount up when I do it, but I do tend to walk like.
But you can't.
Will just like
You can't soak
travel
in.
all around Dale.
Oh, I soak.
No,
I soak it all in.
I like to feel. It's like it would be like riding a horse in real life, except it's not a horse and it's not real life.
So nothing like it.
But it's just like it.
Yeah.
Well, it's like how the scenery moves past you quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Like in,
I
a
do.
car.
Yeah.
I agree with
It's
having the
not
music
that
off
quick.
there.
It's not that quick, Rollo.
Well, the fun thing is that I'll walk for a while. So one of the long stretches is like from Camp Drybone to Camp Tranquil in South Shroud. And then when you get to a settlement, which is usually Quarrymill, because there's hardly anyone, never anyone at Drybone or Tranquil at like 3 or 4 a.m. But sometimes when I get to Quarrymill, there are players, and you get like, ooh, people. You get like happy because you've been walking alone for so long, and they're like, uh-oh, time to walk out, and now, now it's gonna be a while.
To RP.
Yeah, I'm always
I
afraid.
saw, like,
I'm always
Lucio-
afraid. I'm always afraid. Yeah, there's always the fear that I'm walking. I'm RP
They're
walking.
AFK to do Palace of the
Yeah,
Dead.
they are. But sometimes,
Yeah, that's probably
why
like
they're
yesterday,
there.
people were walking. I saw a person that was fishing, and I thought, and sometimes it's fun to play the game NPC or player. Because you sometimes they place, because they were wearing like really generic gear, and I'm like, I think that's an NPC. And I walked past, and they were just fishing. I thought, they're fishing for a very long time. This must be an NPC. And then they pull up the thing, and I'm like, no, that's still an NPC. There's no effect. Level up. I'm like, shook. I'm shook.
Walk out of there.
Yeah.
Guys,
I
if you
hope
can
you-
find Lucio while he's RP walking, please just record it.
Yeah.
Don't get close enough to where like you can see.
Don't
his
Yeah.
creep
gameplay,
on me. That's scary.
Make
Yeah.
sure. I hope you use the RP tag when you do this.
I
Nikhil.
do not. I don't.
Nah, what a shame.
No. All right. Anyways, that's what I've done this week. Let's jump into recent events. There's not a lot, but there is something. Tokyo Game Show 2020. The Tokyo Game Show physical event for 2020 has been cancelled. They will instead hold a digital event. So that's TGS. It's because of COVID-19. That's right. We can say it now. It's
We
all
have
right.
That's it.
Tokyo. So they posted an official announcement. Tokyo Game Show 2020, TGS 2020, scheduled to be held from September 24th to 27th, 2020, is now planned to take place online. TGS 2020, which is usually held at Makuhari Mess, it is cancelled. TGS 2020 is organized by the Computer Entertainment Suppliers Association and co-organized by Nikkei Business Publications Incorporated. Whatever. Due to the outbreak of novel coronavirus on a global scale and the situation... What? Due to the outbreak of novel coronavirus on a global scale and the situation remains unpredictable in Japan as well, the organizer and the co-organizers have reached this decision after a long consideration to place the utmost priority on the health and safety of visitors, exhibitors, and stakeholders. We ask for your kind understanding and cooperation. There you go. Cancelled,
That's a shame.
but not cancelled in. You will still get TGS, but it will be online.
You'll get all the announcements and all the bits and bobs. You just there won't be press there, and if you wanted to go, I guess you can't go. But it's fine. That's
Yes.
fine.
I mean,
Yeah.
when it comes to TGS, I feel like I'm more interested in other things that aren't 14.
Yeah,
usually,
that's
'cause
true.
Yeah.
The 14's TGS presence is pretty like light.
That's that's true.
Yeah.
The main reason I wanted to talk about this is because we're
The
getting
date.
events closer and closer to when
This
FanFest
is
supposed
this
to
is
take
the end of
place.
September, and this is this is in Japan, right? Yeah.
This is in Japan, yes.
Which we talked about last week. We're like, probably Japan will probably be fine by very soon, and they're canceling stuff in September now. So
When is the JP FanFest scheduled for?
December.
Do they even have a date for it yet?
December.
It's
Yeah.
usually around then. But I
That is
think
another 3 months afterwards, but still.
it's possible that they're just doing this preemptively, and by the time September rolls around, maybe they could have gone ahead. And then
I think they are doing what I said, that they are securing, like they're making sure that if it's not, it's better to have a backup plan and then roll with that now than having a backup plan, not rolling with it, and in the hopes that maybe it'll be fine. Then it isn't, and then it's not fine, and then they don't have time to use the backup plan.
Exactly.
Which is why I'm wondering when we'll hear anything about FanFest, because it is looking less and less likely that we'll at least be able to have the NA FanFest.
If the NA FanFest is to receive a similar a degree of notice as TGS, we'll probably hear something in the next 2 months.
Yeah.
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 Let's be honest, we're getting digital FanFest, aren't we?
Yeah. But
it would have been my first FanFest too. It would have been so fun.
What I hope they'll do is that they'll start working on a digital FanFest now, so that it'll be a good digital FanFest and not something that they had to like throw together for in like a month.
Yeah. They'll do the white balancing off there.
Yes.
You think they'll make you pay for it?
They might. They might.
No, I think they will probably make you pay for. If they're still doing the concerts, they'll make you pay for a digital ticket.
Yeah,
still
the concerts, and then they'll just do the thing where the items are on the mug station.
Oh, they might.
It would be really
station,
harsh
it'll be
to suddenly jump back to having a paid model.
Yeah, that's
true.
It's not our fault.
It'll be a fraction of the price that a physical ticket would be, obviously.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Well, there maybe European FanFest will still happen. You never know.
Possible.
It's possible.
It's the most likely one.
Yeah, it's the one that's furthest away in time. But even February might be... Europe might be in a very different state for a very long time. Even through February. Because they're very strict. I think the EU talked about like air travel and stuff is still going to be very restricted for a long time going forward. So we'll see.
Everyone coming into the UK, as the current changes, has to somehow self-quarantine in a private location for 14 days after arriving.
Yeah.
So if that continues, then no, FanFest is going to be very difficult.
Well, I don't think that will continue until February.
No, that's very strict. Yeah. Go on, Roland.
Can we stay at Mela's place? Like we'll fly in there.
Yeah.
We'll self-quarantine at his house.
Yeah. We'll stay there for like 10 days or whatever. How long we have to stay.
No, we're all clean. I probably already had it.
We're all clean. We're all clean.
I'll get it again, maybe.
All right. Well, there you have it. No, TGS you'll get TGS, but there won't be any physical shit. All right. Let's talk about Ishgard Restoration, or the Ishgardian Restoration. We are getting to the end for a few servers. The first NA worlds have completed Ishgard Restoration. They are Balmung, Cactuar, and Gilgamesh. So congratulations. The first EU world, Cerberus, has completed the Ishgard Restoration, and the first data center, Mana, is the first data center to have fully completed Ishgard Restorations on all servers. So congratulations to Mana.
Guess we're just not dedicated here in the West.
Yeah.
We prefer things like glamour and stuff.
Further update: Gaia is also completed.
Oh.
Actually, no, it's not. Sorry. I apologize. There is one world left on Gaia and one world left on Elemental, and then Japan will be completely done.
Damn.
That's bonkers. Impressive. Okay. Well, there you have it. Ragnarok has fallen from grace as a crafting server.
Yeah, what are you playing at?
Doesn't mean you've fallen from grace that you're second.
That is fall from grace. We should have been first. Ragnarok used to be a big crafting server.
And crafting.
It is no longer that. So it has fallen from. Therefore, it has fallen from grace.
After the split, that's what happened.
Yeah.
You lost your crafters to Cerberus.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the interview with Yoshi-P and Mogi. We could... let's see. It's not a very long interview. Is there any questions we can skip? We should have done this off air. I'm now realizing that. But let's just jump into this. This is from Gamatsu. I'll just jump into it. It's kind of like just imagine last week's interview that we're just kind of continuing there. It's the same setting. Okay. So, when patch 5.1 released, we saw a major shift in how the ninja plays, especially with the change to how they generate Ninki. Instead of being generated from auto attacks, it is now generated through the use of weapon skills like other jobs. The Paladin is currently the only job left to generate Oath from auto attacks. Could there ever be a change to how the Paladin generates Oath in the future? Yoshida says, we have no plans for that. At least not during the 5.x series patches. So, there you go.
Well, that'll be Paladin's unique trait.
Yes,
from
yes.
now on.
If you're in tank stance as a paladin, you're not having any issues with your job gauge at all.
No.
That's true.
Only as a DPS it takes a while to generate, so
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah.
What else?
During the recent addition to the raid series Eden's Verse, there have been noticeable callbacks to Final Fantasy VIII. Gaia's inner thought monologue appearing very similar to Squall's inner thought monologues. Gaia referring to the voice in her head as a fairy, a term used by Laguna when alone sends Squall and company to the past. And Idol of Darkness sharing similar designs to Ultimicia's face markings. How much of an involvement did Tetsuya Nomura have in the story for the Eden raid, outside of creating Gaia?
Didn't know he sent him to the past.
Yoshida says, we have only asked for character designs this time around. When we put in the request, we made sure to provide reference materials for the overall raid series. So I'm sure Mr. Nomura took that into account when creating his designs. His design work for the content is still ongoing, so please look forward to future developments.
What has he made other than Gaia?
Well, that
Didn't he make the death?
He made the
the
second
No,
boss,
he didn't
didn't
make.
he?
void
He did
thing.
not.
Did he not?
They showed.
Ah.
No, they showed that during one of the making of Shadowbringers thingies, and then the person that made it said he originally intended it for it to be flat, like a.
Oh, God, yeah, of course,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
They made it upright.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well,
That's why I want to know.
no,
what
no,
Nomura has done.
no. That's what I'm saying. He's probably making it for the last one, for the last tier.
Mhm.
Everything is for the last one.
Yeah, he might have like everything. I think Ultimisia is going to appear
Yeah.
in some form. I'm pretty sure that thing that's talking to her is a sorceress, at least,
Yeah.
and that's
I
where
want
this
that.
is all leading.
Whether that has implications for the actual game or whether it just remains as part of this raid series.
Ultimisia might be
interesting.
tied to, like, we've talked about this. All the void and the time magic. Like, there's a lot of
Yeah.
there's references to the void and there's references to time. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it'd be weird if there was not at least an Ultimisia cameo, and at some
Oh, no,
point.
Yeah.
she's got to join in.
Yeah,
They've got to
Remember-
recreate her castle in
Yeah.
this end.
Oh.
Come on.
that'll be fun.
Mm. Remember when we thought that Nomura was redesigning the primals for us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well.
But we
We
knew he
could've
didn't
made
when
some-
they didn't have any belts on.
Do you think?
No, he's moved on to plaid. Remember?
Ah.
He has
I-
moved on to plaid.
I feel like
That's
when
true.
Nomura made Gaia, he just made the fat lips, and then he designed around them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want big fat lips, and then he drew around
I think
it.
he drew them, and then everyone was like, very good, Mr. Nomura.
Yeah.
We'll take it from here.
He's like, here's my proposal, big lips. And they're like, fuck yeah.
Ah, yes, very
Fuck yeah, Mr. Nomura.
Have an award.
He did it.
Yeah, he just lips, hammer, Squall. And they're like, extraordinary. Okay. Additionally, it was stated during an early live letter from the producer that along with Tetsuya Nomura creating his own original character for the Eden Raid series, that he would also design monsters as well. Have we seen the monsters he's
Okay,
designed
then.
yet?
Ah.
Yeah, there you go. They have not made an appearance yet, so please stay tuned for what comes next. The designs are already solidified, and the development team is now moving forward with modeling. So it is. They are doing that.
Is the reason that they're not they're not appearing until the final part of the raid series because Nomura is notorious for taking his time?
Mhm.
And that's why we're
100%.
only going to save
Yeah.
them now.
Yeah.
That's why the first boss was Eden Prime.
Yeah.
Don't you think
like-
it's kind of weird that Nomura is being used for his like enemy boss design, and he's kind of more known for his like character design, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yes.
true.
Because like he's known for like, oh, this he made Cloud look like that, he made Squall look like that, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's
I,
true.
I can't think of any like notable monsters he's made.
No, I'd need to look into what he's made to think about it, but yeah.
Yeah,
He's
he was a monster
monster
designer for
designer for
6,
six,
and
apparently?
6 has some pretty decent monsters.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we continue. I primarily play the tank role, specifically Gunbreaker and Paladin. Paladin has, in my opinion, been a job that lacks a lot in self-mitigation in the self-mitigation department for cooldowns compared to its tank brethren. Is there any chance we could possibly see an addition to their self-mitigation repertoire, or even a change to Divine Veil, so that even the Paladin can gain the shield absorption effect?
That's so weird.
Yoshida says, currently the tank role is becoming progressively more equalized, but at the same time, we want each job to have its own established identity. If we make them even more equal, then it would truly make no difference which job you used. It is unlikely that we would make any changes during the 5.x series. Please stay tuned for any movements leading up to the next expansion.
Who is this interim? What's his obsession with Paladin? Has some fine cooldown. It's got like the 40% reduction. It's
Yeah.
got the parry one. It
Yeah,
kind
I mean,
of fits
held
the class.
ground, just like you hit that button, you win.
Yeah, higher ground, exactly.
Yeah.
It's got nothing bad about it except obviously the server recognition of it.
I understand Divine Veil though, because I think Divine Veil is still a super annoying skill to use. And
Mm.
it's weird it doesn't
I
apply to
agree.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like, I mean,
But
look
he's
at
a
the other
paladin.
tanks.
Like, he's supposed to protect the others. He's like,
yeah.
yeah.
I agree, but I wish you'd be able to activate Divine Veil yourself.
That would be, yeah,
I
that's
guess.
true. Yeah, I see that.
It's just be one button, honestly.
Yeah.
It's just be like that. You hit it and that's it.
yeah.
Come
Looking back
I
on
think
what,
Paladin's in a fine place.
yeah, I think so too. I think paladin's pretty good right now.
I agree. I really like Paladin. I
Yeah.
just don't like Divine Veil.
No.
That's fair.
Looking back on what you've done so far, what is it that you're most proud of in the game? What fight, character, story, idea, or item first comes to mind? Yoshida says, I don't believe there's much value in being the most something.
Oh God.
It's such a momentary notion. We gain experience and grow. So I feel my answer would constantly change. Most recently, though, I would say maybe ocean fishing. Warriors of Light from around the world are enjoying this. So while this content was born from a very simple thought, I feel it came out really well. Another one would be perhaps Dome and Mahjong. So
Wow.
it's important to know
You
that
didn't make Dome and Mahjong.
No.
Yeah, it's a real life game.
Yeah, you
No,
just
they made
put
it.
a real world game in your game.
Well, I was also going to say that this was made entirely by one person as a passion project.
that's
What
also
did you?
true, yeah.
How was he involved with it?
That's true.
It's a
I really
collaborative
think so.
effort.
Mm.
I really think Thavnair and Blackjack's doing really well right now.
It's important to know that this interview was done during PAX
Yeah, a
East,
while ago.
while people still
When-
did ocean fishing.
Yeah, because it's not.
Everyone's
not
forgotten
as
about it
popular
now.
I really do hope we get a new route with the next.
really soon, please.
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe even 2 additional when they add one more. Just
Yeah.
add 2.
yeah.
Yeah.
As a raid series, Eden has shown us quite the interesting redesigns to the primals we've faced against the source. Of the 6 primals of the elements, which was your favorite to redesign its new appearance and design for its encounter? What is the process the development team goes through when designing a new fight that already has a structure in-game, such as the new Eden primals and the ultimate encounters? Mogi says, from a design perspective, I would say Titan. The battle content was quite hard, though. When he has his armor on, you can see we've paid homage to the Titan from Final Fantasy XIII. And once he removes it, he looks like a Titan from Greek mythology. To tell you the truth, I had a few extra ideas I wanted to try had I both had the time and bandwidth to really sink my teeth into the design. I would have loved to do something like creating a Minecraft-style Titan
What?
by stacking a bunch of Avoirdupois enemies from the Temple of Karn.
Oh, that would have been sweet.
You know what? If they ever make Titan like Ultimate or whatever, that should be it.
Mm.
Specifically Titan Ultimate.
Do you
I
remember what a
don't-
Waterpois means?
I can't.
It's weight.
means
It has
it's
something to
water.
a tenth of something.
It's the weight. It's like a pound of something.
a pound
Ah.
of a pound of
pound of
shit.
rice.
pound of shit.
It's not
Uh,
rice.
Also, as a
Going as a
side
Final
note,
matter.
Fantasy 13.
yeah, we had a discussion on a stream once about the word homage and
Gosh.
ever or homage. See, that's the problem. Because we had that discussion where I was so annoyed that some American friends that I have would say homage.
Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Ever since we had that discussion, whenever I see the word, my brain fucks it up. And it's like, what's the word? What's the word? So that's why I stopped on homage.
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 I've always just known it as
homage.
homage,
Homage. Homage.
Hmm.
Homage. Please don't say homage. Anyone ever.
Mage.
During the cutscene following the fight with Ruby Weapon Normal, it was mentioned that another one of the orphans Gaius took in would pilot the Sapphire Weapon. Also, wait, what was I going to say? I forgot what I was going to say. Let's just continue. Given that the Sapphire Weapon only appears briefly in the franchise during its assault on Junon, is there anything you hope to see from a visual and gameplay standpoint if this weapon comes to Final Fantasy XIV? Yoshida says, please stand by for updates. We are currently knee-deep in the planning stages. Then he laughs. Mogi says, if we were to make Sapphire Weapon, I would probably start by pondering if we can repurpose the skeletal structure of the existing model. He laughs. The Ruby Weapon does pay... why do you say this word now that homage to the original design? So if we were to create a design for Sapphire Weapon, I would like for it to be similar to the original as well. Lastly, so wait, sorry, that's Sapphire Weapon. We've briefly talked about it.
Though,
yeah?
right? Because Sapphire Weapon from 7 is like a giant Sahagin or something. It's very organic.
Yeah,
it's very
it is. Yeah,
looking.
Yeah,
and it definitely doesn't look like that thing we saw in the.
Well, I'm starting to think that it is not. Well, I'm not even starting to think. I don't think it is Sapphire Weapon.
Yes.
It looks like
it's making us an Ultima weapon.
Yeah,
that's
kind
ours.
of like it looks like a new or a prototype or one of the many prototypes of Ultima Weapon. Or
People
maybe
have been speculating that it looks Ironworks made.
Yeah, it does look Ironworks.
Yeah.
Okay. Lastly, is there anything you would like to say to the fans of the game here in the West? Yoshida says, we are truly sorry that our business trip had to be cancelled. This is, of course, in relation to PAX East. This is what he's talking about. Due to the novel coronavirus situation. But right now, the whole world is fighting against this. The impact on the development and operations teams are still limited, but we want to do our due diligence to protect ourselves and continue to provide a realm that everyone can enjoy from the bottom of their hearts. We believe our role is to deliver joy to people around the world through entertainment. Mogi says, we are continuing our product efforts. With the novel coronavirus causing many issues, there may be many players out there who are placed in an uncertain situation. But I hope that you can find even a little bit of comfort in the world of Final Fantasy XIV. All of us designers will work very hard to make this an even more appealing game, so please keep your spirits up and stay tuned for further updates. And that is that.
Well, I hope you learned about Paladin.
And apparently the interviewer's like...
He had an agenda
to have everything in the world.
Yeah. It was clear. Yeah, he had his Paladin bias showing.
I mean, that's okay. You know, I'd
you
go
have
and
the
ask him
chance.
questions about like armorer.
Yeah, armorer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, so,
I would definitely
when's
ask.
armor getting. What about miner?
Yoshi-P, why is armor and blacksmith two separate classes? I feel like that's like a question you could ask, and he'd be like,
they both have hammer.
Yeah, they both have hammer.
Goldsmith too.
Why do all disciples of the Hand and Land use the same animations as Gladiator?
Yes.
That's a genuinely good question.
Yeah.
When are we gonna do animations for that, huh?
When are we gonna get attacks?
When are you going to bring back Throw Stone?
Yeah,
when are we getting Throw Stone, please?
That was so OP. It's done them for quite a while, didn't it?
Yeah, it was. Well, they had to because you.
Yeah, I know, but it's still quite a strong ability, though.
Yeah, they threw you into a battle in the first minute of the game, and you're a fucking goldsmith.
Throw was a cross-class skill you could equip on other jobs. That would be so cool.
Yeah,
like a 5-second stun.
Yeah.
Stun anybody. Stun Ultima.
In PvP.
I also love that you could buy different rocks. That is funny.
Oh, was there ammunition?
Yeah,
that worked.
Yeah.
Oh, this is stupid. This is a terrible fucking game.
It's very funny.
Chat brings up a good point. When can we start bringing the ether gauge outside of the ether auger outside of Diadem? And start using them just on enemies in the.
Oh yeah. Let me bazooka all the mobs. All right.
That would be cool.
That is the end of the interview. I think it is time to jump in to the great discussion. haven't seen that in a long
No.
time.
Welcome
I
back.
feel like that one shot of Limsa gets so much airtime on this show.
There's some bias for sure.
yeah,
I mean,
it is.
what are our starting city states? I'm Uldar.
Well, I am
Well-
originally Limsa, but was forced into Uldar because of the changes they made
Yeah,
to your
whatever.
class.
That's fine. Ronan Gyogi? What were yours? What was your
my
starting
starting city.
city?
My first figure was in Gridania.
Man, there needs to be more Uldar and Gridanian representation, please. Thank you.
What? Well, there had to be one city state that was doubled up. There were only 3 city states, so we're actually
Let's do Ishgard then, so then no one's unhappy.
okay.
Interestingly, it's Limsa, considering now there are only 2 classes that start there.
yeah.
Jeez.
Right. So the great discussion topic today is the staggered patch cycle. Yeah, fun. How are we? What? Huh? Well, we're in.
I guess then to start, you can say what we mean by it. Like when this patch came out, we had the raid and the story on day 1, and then we had a 4-month wait before we got the Boston Citadel stuff, the relic weapons, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And how you feel about how that's helped you in terms of being interested in playing the game.
Well, I think so. I said this a lot off stream. I'm very much reminded of the Drought and Stormblood between it was 0.3 and 4 or 2 or 3. I can't remember, but it was a long Drought. And back then, I think it was a little more annoying because we didn't really know why it was happening. This time we know there's a reason for this delay. But it came at literally the worst time, like the worst patch.
Yeah.
With this patch, we got a relic quest with no grinding in it, which means you have lost that one piece of content that could have held you over to until the new patch.
Yeah.
Like this game, the thing about this game, which maybe I don't like, but it is what it is. Patches are kind of like do everything on patch day. That's how a patch works.
Yeah.
You have to finish the story. You've got to do all the dungeons, blah blah.
Yeah.
Then you've got the grind, which for this one was tomestones for 7 weeks, and then potentially a relic, which ended up not being any grind.
No.
So you've done the quest on day 1. You've got your relic. You could have got 2 more relics for free instantly if you'd kept poetics, and then if you care enough, you can grind them. But they're not hard to grind.
Yeah.
What else is there to do?
Well,
in terms of this patch itself.
In terms of just this patch content, perhaps not much. But some would probably argue that there's all the other content from before that you might not have finished. So there are.
High, right?
What did you say, Rollo?
You always go back to heaven on high, right? You get that mount.
That's true.
Oh, yeah, the dodo.
Yeah. There's also the relics of the past. A lot of people may not have gotten those. Eureka is still there. If you never finished Eureka, you can do that. The Baldessian Arsenal is there. You can try to get people for that. Good luck, by the way.
I'm working on my Zeta, and I hate it.
What phase are you up to?
I've got I've got 3 more books to do, I think, and I just
you're doing that.
Tiresome.
Yeah.
I like the concept, but they're all the same.
Yeah.
Like the fates.
Yeah.
Well, the guild leaves or whatever the leaves are literally always in Mordona, Kurthus, and North Thanalan, I think. It's just awful. They're all the same. If they were more different, it would be fine, but they're all the same.
Yeah. I know I said good luck finding a group for Baldessian Arsenal. I'm sure there's ways to get people. I know that Eureka isn't very much not dead. We've confirmed that. It's very much active, so you can do Eureka. I don't know. I haven't been to Hydaelyn since, like, for real, since it was on stream with Rollo, I think. I think that was the last time.
go back. We're gonna do BA someday.
Yeah,
Get
well,
Ozma, come on.
you have to
Oh, I'd
finish
love
your
to get
relic
Ozma.
first before you can do that,
You
Rollo.
have to finish it.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
that's how you finish.
lame.
You have to finish the storyline up to that point, and that's the only way to do that is through the relic.
I finished the storyline. Do I do?
You have to do Baldesion Arsenal to get the final
Yeah.
relic.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Well, are you ready for
Technically.
Baldesion Arsenal though? Are you?
Can I just do it? Right.
I
You
think
just
you
do it?
can maybe now. I don't know. I don't remember how far you got on your because you got the base, the finished.
I got the tuck. I got
Yeah.
the Hydaelyn tuck.
Right.
Ah.
Mm.
Then I think that's the last one, isn't it? Then?
Yeah. I don't know.
Before you get the better version of it after doing BA, but that's optional.
You don't need. No, you don't need the relic, but don't you need to finish the story up to a certain point? Because
I
they're
finished the story.
all right. Okay, so you've
Yeah.
made the choice in the Baldesion
Yeah.
Arsenal. Okay, so you're done. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
Fuck
So
that relic. I'm never gonna finish that piece of shit.
You're so close.
yeah,
Mhm.
so annoying
No.
that you have it.
If
You're
I-
almost there. You almost have the achievement, but you won't do it.
If I could just throw it away, like delete it from my inventory forever, I would.
all
You
that
can.
wasted
You
time.
can't do
Don't do it,
that.
Rollo. Don't
You
let
can
them
do it, Rollo.
talk you into it. Leave it.
Let's do it, man.
No, 'cause you can always get it back, right?
No, you can get a
No.
replica.
You can get a
man.
replica, but never the real one.
Oh,
Um,
I'm gonna stream myself.
no,
That's
don't do that, Rollo. That's the fucking most infuriating thing I've ever heard. Right, but okay, so there's that. You can also try to go for the Palace of the Dead achievement
Mhm.
solo
Necromancer.
necromancer.
But okay, say I love this game so much,
Mhm.
and I am a necromancer.
Mm.
I've got every class 80. I've got literally every relic in the game. I've done everything up until now.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm that player, this patch and having
Well-
a staggered patch cycle offers me very like drips and drabs sort of content.
This is the problem with MMOs, and I think developers hate this part because they literally that kind of player can never be. They can't cater for them.
Satisfied.
Yeah, they'll never be satisfied.
It's
'cause
very
they'll
hard to.
complete the content immediately.
I agree, but if I had got,
But
how many
also-
classes are there? Like 15. If I got 15 more relics to grind, that
Mhm.
would keep me going for like the rest of the
Oh,
year.
that sounds miserable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, that kind of player is so incredibly rare. The kind
is
of
also
player that
true.
has completed every piece of content in this game.
Yeah.
I would.
And then I
I
suppose
would
at the
be
same time,
shocked if
they,
you failed.
Yeah.
like they've forced it on themselves, I guess.
Yeah.
in a way.
Mm.
Yeah. I've.
But okay then, imagine if we didn't have a staggered patch cycle and we'd got the Boston Sistel stuff on day one as well. What position would we be in now? Possibly a
I mean,
worse one?
it would be very slightly worse, I think. I
Mm.
don't think it would be significantly worse than where we currently are. I mean, I can understand it more with 5.15 than 5.25. With 2.25, we got essentially the relic and then the extreme trial attached to it. In
Hmm.
1.15, we got the Blue Mage update,
Mhm.
which was actually quite in depth,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and also the new PvP map, the new Frontlines map.
That's true.
Mhm.
And that's potentially long-term content if you actually want the achievements and stuff.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, yeah. That's also
Yeah,
a good
there's
point.
sometimes
There's
they
a
hit it.
lot of achievements in this game that you can
Mhm.
try to work on,
Mm.
and we haven't even talked about crafting and gathering isn't for everyone, but that's also a thing that has a lot of achievements tied to it. Also,
Yeah.
relics.
Mm.
That you can actually grind for. I haven't said this. I did get the. What did I get? I did one crafter one, and I'm almost done with my crafter one. Did I say gather?
Oh, you
Sky
mean the
Steel relic?
dragon song things?
Yeah, the sky steel.
relic?
Sky
Mhm.
steel tools.
Which one?
I think the mining one and the. I think I'm working on the weaver one right now.
I mean,
The
I
purples?
I would question the the investment you have in the content if you can barely remember which one you're doing.
No, I got the miner. Yeah, well, I'm confused because I was
The gathering ones are much harder.
I worked on both the mining and botanist one, but I finished the mining one.
Mhm.
I'm still halfway on the botany one. I will say though, easier to get the. I think it's well. It depends on what you think is easy because it takes time to gather. Gathering takes a long time, but crafting can be expensive.
Oh yeah, because you've got to. I don't know if you can buy the.
You can buy
things
for
from the
yellow
market
scripts. You can buy.
You can buy it for yellow scripts, yeah.
Yeah. But one, you have to high quality them.
Yeah,
and
I think it's 1,500 yellow scripts.
and
for each relic.
you need 10 of one item. No, you need 20, I think, in total of an item, and that's exactly 2,000 scripts. So if you fuck up one, you will have to grind some more yellow scripts. You can do a delivery, of course, but yeah.
It's a question of whether you value time or money more.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. 20 for the first, 30 for the second. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would
mean,
say
I guess
gathering is easier in terms of you just gather. You just
Yeah,
gather.
it just requires
Time.
I mean, it requires a lot of time,
Mm-hmm.
depending on your luck as well, because you have to get
Yeah, you have
a
to get
lot
them
of-
high quality. So
a lot of HQs.
yeah, well, some of them you
The
don't.
HQs
right?
took so much more time than the hidden.
Yeah, yeah.
That sounds like so much suffering. I hate it.
I actually I didn't hate
Yeah, it's
it.
all right.
It's
Just
chill.
put on a podcast or a Netflix
Yeah.
thing
Yeah,
and you're
I
fine.
like these kinds of mindless, like grindy type of content when I have things that I want to listen to or watch
Yeah.
on another
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
useful for that.
Yeah.
That's how
Yeah.
people treated Eureka back in the day as well.
Yes.
It's like
I watched so much Megamind. I rewatched that movie so much.
Don't say I watch so much Megamind as if there is a large degree of content of it. And it is just,
No, I just rewatched
You just
Megamind
watched the same
multiple times.
movie.
yeah, but it's a very quickly exhausted amount of content that you chose to rewatch.
Yeah. Weird.
I love how
Weird
you had the
thing to
one
watch.
thing though. This is my Eureka thing.
2019, I was just in a Megamind mood, okay?
Uh-huh.
Okay, it's interesting because you very much would not have been Megamind while you were doing Eureka.
No.
Oh,
No.
You'd have become slow and an alcoholic.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's true.
Eureka just made my brain shrivel up until I'm still recovering.
I guess then one good thing about the staggered patch cycle is that we got like the new raid and stuff, and patch day was cool, and that sort of slowed down maybe 2 weeks into it, and then we're like, but at least we'll have the relic to look forward to,
Mm-hmm.
or at least we'll have Blue Mage updates to look forward to, and that's another couple months. So
Mm-hmm.
it kind of makes one patch feel more like 2 mini patches now, and then
Yeah.
it means the time between patches feels a bit less
Mm-hmm.
in a normal world, at least.
Yeah. I also find that I feel no pressure in the game right now because I feel like I have everything I need, so I can just do what I want. Like I can just
Yeah.
before I was like I would always prioritize like tome grinding, and I have to do the boss shit, and I have to get all the relics, but now there's like whatever. Next patch is like 2 months away. So I can level other classes now, and I don't have to care about the tombstones.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in two minds of it because or about it, because like on one hand, I kind of would like the treadmill to at least have a bit more variety in it. Like I think I'd appreciate maybe like 1 or 2 more end game activities, in like a patch, or like I don't know, just I like being on the treadmill for the most part.
Right.
But I also appreciate being able to like, for this patch cycle, I went in really hard for a month or like a month and a half, and then I could just chill. And like when the next patch came out, and I didn't have to like worry about trying to like, I gotta get my level up with the content. I gotta catch up on this real quick.
Yeah.
It's like no, I did a bit of grinding. I did a little bit, and I'm good to go.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, definitely we've got to a point where surely this treadmill is stale at this point. It's always 5 experts a week. It's been that way since Heavenswood or even before. It's
Hey, it used to back in Houndswood it used to be like 6 or 7 extra.
that is true. Yeah, it did used to be harder.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, having a couple extra things or making like the treadmill also benefit in some other way. Like, I know this would never happen, but for example, like an XP share star system where you can gain something for another class while you're at max level just getting tomes or some rubbish. Like some way of...
I don't think they want you leveling classes without playing them.
No, that I mean I appreciate that, but like
How
something
about
to gain.
we introduce a base level, and then you have a class
or like a
level,
Paragon sort of system.
and then
oh no, shut
if
up!
you
No, I know
level
what you're
too
talking about now.
fast,
No.
you can pull
No,
down
no.
some gates, and then it'll slow the EXP gain. So you can just switch classes.
Can you imagine if overnight they changed our normal XP levels to be like the old decent system where you could only have like a certain amount and start pulling down other levels? If you
Oh
level up?
God! Yeah.
Do you feel like you miss having an extra dungeon in the expert roulette?
Absolutely,
Yeah,
Yes.
actually, I
Yes,
kind of do.
I-
Yeah, quite a bit.
without a doubt. Like I understand why they did this,
Do you?
but like,
Do you?
well, I want to understand.
Yeah. Because right
I
now,
want to give them the
right.
benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, right now though, I don't feel like we're getting anything back from that. But we haven't
No.
seen what the new Relic shit is, because that's
Yeah.
what I'm guessing. But no, see, that doesn't make any sense either, because
No, because they managed it year to year.
yeah, Eureka removed a dungeon
we got
already.
4 zones for Eureka.
Yeah, I don't know. That is a darker part of this, is like the reduction of content, which is also probably why we are feeling it more now. The drought.
People are pretty split on that though,
Yes.
because
Mm.
some people just don't like dungeons,
Yes.
or like they don't
Fair.
No.
they
that's
don't
true.
like they just do them a couple times and then it's like it's out of their memory. But
Mhm.
like dungeons are content I really
Yeah.
enjoy. That's nice.
It's true. There is
Now,
the Realm
yeah,
Reborn.
harder.
People are talking about the Realm Reborn rework, which might be the reason why. Because I would assume that's it's been a pretty big project. So we'll see how that goes. But the sad thing is that won't impact most of the existing player base. Like, okay, we can fly.
No.
I guess. There's
But
that.
hey, getting some new players is good too.
Yeah. Yeah.
A question I would sort of have about the Realm Reborn rework is, why haven't they staggered that?
Mm,
What do you mean?
Yeah, I guess.
Like
like the development.
this
time?
patch we added shorter questing or
What?
something.
Wait, what do you mean staggered?
What?
What did you mean staggered?
Yeah.
Because they could have implemented flying zone by zone. Which would be weird, but I think it's a possibility. They could have done the streamlining of the quest lines before or after the
right.
addition of flying.
Well, I'm glad they did it like this, though. They're like, we've done it. It's done. Like, we've gotten it, and
That's
now
rare
it is
for
done.
them.
We will not keep like.
Look at Squadrons.
Don't worry, we'll get something else with Squadrons, Mela, because
When?
that's what our Grand Company rank is tied to right now. So
Yeah.
they have to find some way of including it.
Can we even do we even have any level 60 to 70 dungeons to do with them?
No,
No.
they can't even get to 70 yet.
No.
Jesus.
No. Yeah.
And they also still only give level 4 materia.
Oh my god, who even uses that anymore?
What else? You need them for relics, don't you? Or something?
Yeah.
No,
you
the
don't,
relics
no.
that we had were like quality 3 and
Yeah.
2, the ones from around Reborn.
Yeah.
Nonsense. And they're so cheap, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, it goes up to the vault,
really
I
weird.
think, with the squadrons. So I was thinking about we have had 2 big droughts, right? There's Stormblood. Well, so each expansion has had this period, The only problem is that the only difference now is that we're getting it very early now. No, actually, Heavensward got it immediately.
Heavensward was very early. Yeah.
Heavensward just
Yeah.
released, and then there was Drought for like 4 months,
Yeah.
and then they're like,
But
"Here
that was
we're
fair.
back.
They took a break.
We've removed a dungeon from the. Was that when they first removed a dungeon from the roulette?
Yes, yeah, it went
Yeah,
from 3 to
we've
2.
removed a dungeon, and here's the diadem. We're like,
Well, see, I would make the argument that no one liked Diadem. I'm not gonna try and
Lord of Verminion.
rewrite
Hollow
his-
did.
I'm not.
Shut
Yeah,
up.
I'm not gonna try and rewrite history. But like, Diadem was intended to be long form content that was released with 3.1.
Yeah,
4.3 got Pagos, which again, bad
shit.
long form content.
Same shit.
Bad long form content.
Yeah.
We don't have any long form content with this patch.
That's the scary thing, Georgi, because the next patch is supposed to be long form content. What if it fails?
I know.
Just like the
Yeah.
ones
Yes, I
before
know.
it.
That's why I'm worried.
Yeah.
Because I feel as if this might just be a sign of things to come, and this is not going to end with 5.3.
So we're gonna be one really bad drought per expansion.
Followed by like
This will be a very long drought if it lasts into 5.3.
followed by a patch with mediocre content that fails. That would be like the nightmare scenario here.
I guess this
Chat
drought
is correct. Ishgard Restoration is long form content.
True.
But it is not
Very
combat
long form.
content.
It is
No.
not. No.
It's
it is
more
not
niche.
PvE. It's just crafting.
No.
But that's fine. That's true. That is content. That hasn't failed. It failed the first
Ishgard
time. Though,
Restoration
kind
is-
of.
Yeah.
I don't think it failed. I just didn't think it was long enough.
Yeah, it was like a.
There
trial
were
period
design
sort of
flaws.
thing.
We've been through this, but yes.
Oh, and the world visit thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
of course. There were issues.
Give us a job. I don't know, man. Just something.
I think Ishgard Restoration is fine. In fact, it's nice that it's still going. It's just it's not for everyone.
Yeah, if we could have a similar sort of thing as battle content, then yeah, that would be pretty awesome.
I am looking forward to doing those 4 quests that will unlock once your world finishes this phase of the Ishgard Restoration.
Ragnarok,
True.
please.
Yes.
Come on, guys.
He needs that
Oh,
content.
Yeah.
He's so thirsty. Please.
I'm glad that I
say
have
that-
my Ragnarok character.
I say that without like contributing. I can contribute too, by the way. Yeah.
I'm a beat. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
I
I'm also a
contributed-
beta.
I'm a Beatus too. A Beatus.
I've literally not
Beatus? How do you
contributed.
pronounce it?
It's Beatus.
Because every time we say it, someone in
Beata.
either the
No,
comments or
but
chat will
me
be
and
like,
Mailer say Beatus because it's funnier.
yeah, but
Yeah,
you have
'cause
to
it sounds like beta.
clarify that because the comments,
Yeah, I
they,
know.
they think you're
If they don't
actually
understand it.
stupid.
Yeah, well, they're the stupid ones because they don't understand that funny jokes.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So I will say though, if you're big into crafting, you're probably not feeling the drought as much.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Because this is
I mean,
definitely the patch of crafting.
If you not got the Pteranodon, you got
Right.
a heck of a lot to do.
Mhm.
I have also seen though that the people that have obtained that it's not difficult for hardcore crafters to obtain every guy builder's script item. At which point
That's true.
some of them feel like that's the end point. Of course they have the relic now, but like
But they can also work on getting their server to complete.
No,
The
but people
restoration.
like
What if their
tangible
server is
rewards
complete?
that they can have for
Mm.
themselves. They don't like
Well,
helping
they
others.
they haven't started completing until now, so they've had a long time of just being able to work on, and a lot of
So what
servers
you're saying-
still haven't finished.
So is what you're saying that these crafters that have finished now have nothing to look forward to?
No, well, it depends on what they've done. Have they done the relics? Have they done all the relics?
Some of them might.
Yeah, well, now you're just yes, some might, and those I'm sorry, but you're out of shit to do. you have completed the game for now. Come back in 5.3. Yeah. So there's that. But for us, we're not big master crafters.
No.
No.
So we have a lot. I mean, we are whining about something because we have a lot we can do. To be fair, people will point at other content. I mean, like, have you done this? We've listed all the stuff that we can do. I think it's just the thing that we're going back to like old content. Like where we're like level synced and it's like it feels like I'm doing outdated content. Chocobo race. Yes.
Oh,
No.
yes.
Breed
To be
the
fair,
perfect
you've not got a
chocobo.
pedigree 9 with max stats.
Yeah.
What are you playing at?
Yeah.
I think this comes back to the idea of there not being enough mid-level content.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
That's true.
Bring
Like
in mythic dungeons.
Yes,
Mythic plus
exactly.
dungeons.
Don't worry, we'll get mythic trials next
Yeah.
next
Unreal.
patch.
What a
remember,
stupid
Mailer?
name. Unreal.
Unreal.
It is kind of weird that they can't like make because dungeons get a lot of work put into them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It is true that they are just kind of thrown away at like when it's not like
Instantly almost.
I thought the purpose of hard mode dungeons was to make dungeons quickly without having to do a lot of work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
very odd.
I was.
I wouldn't mind like doing something to dungeons just to going through them again a bit more like interesting and like a heart like I don't know. It seems weird just like they aren't used aside from just a random roulette for XP or tomes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, on a patch with a 24-man, I'd probably do it once.
Yeah.
But
But-
one thing I like about the Blue Mage right now is the Blue Mage log. You have reasons to go
Oh,
back
yeah.
and do
That
specific
is true.
content.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to point out that too. We haven't really discussed it, but we got confirmation that Hilde. Did we say that on an episode that we actually got the confirmation that we're not getting Hildebrand?
True.
Which is another thing that is weird. There's no Hildebrand update. There is no Palace of the Dead. Remember, they said that they were going to replace that with something perhaps brand new. So we're not getting a deep dungeon, and there were no updates to the treasure maps either with the next patch.
I'm
At least not announced
still waiting
yet.
for. I'm still waiting for some sort of roulette wheel treasure dungeons for this expansion.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they're so
Yeah.
much better than the doors.
They are so much better.
Yeah.
And the fact that we went back to only having it's 2 doors, pick which one,
Yeah.
is really annoying.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, Hilde.
Yeah.
Sorry, let's finish the Hildebrand thing because for some this might be news. But apparently this has been confirmed in an interview. I can't remember what magazine.
It was a Japanese publication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can't remember what was the reasoning again. It was just that they felt like
They don't want to feel like they're retreading their work with Hildebrand. They want to make something new and unique.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which feels to
Fair
me like it might have been. Well, it depends on what happens in the like what 6.0 is going to be, but it feels like it's a decision made after they had made the storyline for the last quest with Hildebrand.
Who's to say we can't have like build the brand on the first?
I will. No, well, see, there's no reason for that if you've finished the storyline.
No.
But besides that, the thing is, we also don't really have anything to replace Hildebrand.
No.
No.
There it is. There's the translation. I'll read it. It's from Game Watch. That's okay. The first season. Sorry, they're talking about Netflix. Sorry.
As they always do.
Yeah, the first season had the most viewers in Netflix history. Final Fantasy XIV is also getting a Netflix series, and when the screenwriter asked what people wanted to see, I forgot about that. The series.
Oh, TV show.
Yeah.
Made by the Witcher guys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes me less worried. And when the screenwriter asked what people wanted to see, many of the audience said Hildebrand. We haven't seen Hildebrand. Yeah, Hildebrand in Shadowbringers. But are there any plans for his appearance? Yoshida says, well, there are actually no plans at the moment. Is that so? I was certain he would make an appearance with how the last Hildebrand episode ended and expected him to be on the first. Yoshida said, we just ended it like that so we could do whatever we wanted afterwards. But the volume of the other scenarios have inflated. We have the MSQ, Sorrows of Warlit, Save the Queen story, and they all have proper stories attached to them. Translating them to all languages and filming all the cutscenes have reached the limit with our current resources. We are currently trying to hire more translators, but we haven't been able to deal with that issue yet. We told ourselves, even if we were to release the Hildebrand quests, it should be after 5.2, but even in our current situation, we would only be able to write a very shallow story and wouldn't want to be able to deliver something grand. GameWatch then asks, you are simply lacking resources? Yoshida says yes. Even with the ocean fishing, the amount of text in that content isn't 0, which leaves us to have no composure.
No composure.
I don't know. Okay. We have content like the Minion Farm planned for 5.3 onward. We haven't talked about that.
What the fuck is the Minion Farm?
Onward that requires translations, and we don't
What does
have
that mean?
we don't have enough text resources to cover Hildebrand. So we are thinking about going on break with Hildebrand. We also feel like Hildebrand is becoming stale, and we know the same pattern has its own taste. But we strongly believe going on break is a better idea. We actually wanted to go on break after 3.0, but we couldn't, and he ended up coming back.
Yes.
What?
I was going to bring this up. They
Yeah.
didn't want to do Hildebrand in Heavenswood.
No.
And then people did not people like the Scholastic quest, but people were wondering, where's Hildebrand?
Yeah.
So they ended up having to do a Hildebrand storyline too.
Yeah. Which...
Or maybe they can make something else that's like more lighthearted and goofy that isn't Hildebrand. Because I understand wanting to like, hey, well, like we don't want to use them right now, or like we're burnt out on it. Like that's, I think that's understandable.
And I can see the fear of making a shallow story, because the only thing that carries Hildebrand, because Hildebrand is very disconnected from the rest of the game. Like it is a wacky story, and the only thing that carries Hildebrand is the fact that the story is good. Like it has to be a good story that you believe in the Hildebrand universe, of course. And if they had made something, empty and like just to crank out that Hildebrand, it wouldn't have been the same, and that would have probably been the end of Hildebrand if people had, if people turned on Hildebrand, it'd be over.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Could you imagine if there was a bad Hildebrand?
That'll be sad. That'd be very
But
sad.
speaking of small, they have a bunch of NPCs in this game that they could do stuff with. So why don't we get those post-Moogle quests that they said that they wrote but have not translated?
Yeah, and the post-Moogle quest would be nice. Some would say
or
that's
make
like
up a new character. Who cares?
Yeah, they can do that. I really want, because the post-Moogle quests are like the kind of quests that I want, like quests that fill in like lore about people and places that you don't that are not really relevant right now, but it's just nice to learn about, because we haven't had any updates to the post-Moogle quest since
Realm Reborn.
God, it is that long.
It was just a Realm Reborn.
It was just a Realm Reborn. Sad. There's that. So there you go. No Hildebrand. Let's talk about the Minion Farm just real quick, because it is very odd to me that we hear this every now and then. They bring up the Minion Farm without ever explaining what it is. They're like, first they were like player farms, and we're like, gonna grow some corn, and then they're like, no, Minion Farm. Bye. And then we're like, Minion Farm. And then they just keep bringing it up, and then without ever explaining it. Are we going to grow minions?
I discard restoration? I feel like they mentioned that a long time ago.
Well, I think maybe they might have just mentioned it while talking about Ishgard Restoration and crafting and gathering. They were like, and also player farms. I don't know if it's tied to Ishgard Restoration, but it was sort of they talked about it in the same breath as Ishgard Restoration. So I don't know.
I felt like originally it was on the Crystarium though. That's when I first remember them talking about it.
I have been mentioned a few times. Just random. That's like the mystery content of 5.3. I think.
For sure. That's why we lost a dungeon and like everything else.
What if it's like the biggest? Like looking back on this episode, like 2 months from now, we're like laughing about it. It's going to be the biggest content in 14. It's like since around Reborn.
You can get the highest level tome gear ever through Minion. This is how you get good gear.
This is that second relic system. Like this is how you get. You don't have to do boss gear. You can do the Minion Farm. Yeah, no. Yeah, you can technically already grow minions. You can grow the onion stuff, right?
The Mandragora.
The Mandragora,
stuff,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
Rollo?
that was cool content.
I feel like, well, two things. First, when I think of minion farm, I think of like little sprites from Harvest Moon that like water your crops.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, is it just gonna be that, like
Uh-huh.
plant stuff, and then they just
Yeah, I think
water it for you?
I think you have a good point because I believe someone a long time ago, a few months ago, maybe like half a year ago, someone asked. There was a Q&A on a live letter. Someone asked if it was possible to have the minions walk around in the house. And he
Yes.
said
I remember that.
that would be a fucking nightmare in terms of like collision and stuff. Pathfinding. And so he said we have some content similar to that coming up in the future. So you might be onto something, Rollo. I think, yeah, that's possible.
Yeah, and then second thing, I feel like they're gonna reuse that Lords of Vermilion like interface.
Yeah.
I feel it.
Mm-hmm.
As in like
I
the
can
weird
say it.
RTS camera mode thing.
Yeah. Yeah, because we've talked about this
Maybe.
before, like how well made the system is for Lord of Vermilion. Like
It's pretty
absurd.
intricate.
It's a fucking absurd. The amount of work that's gone into that game for it to be that shitty.
Well, that's
but
the
the
thing saying that.
but the UI is really good.
Are you trying? Stop. Are you going to say you're defending Lord of Dominion, Rollo?
Oh.
Because that's
Yeah, that
what
is.
you're about to do.
I am saying maybe there's a nice viewer that really enjoys it, and I don't want.
You can enjoy.
I don't want to
okay,
ruin that for
let
them.
me disclaimer for everything we say on this show, both past and future. You can enjoy whatever you like, but we can also enjoy whatever we like, and also dislike
Yeah.
whatever we dislike. Okay.
Yes.
Lords of Vermilion sucks. So.
Yes.
It's just boring.
Yeah.
It's
It's
just
Oh, that's such a.
boring.
Just bringing up the thing that really upsets me. Always remember, there is someone on the development team that has to give every new minion abilities and balance them for Lord of Vermilion.
It
Yeah.
has to give them stats. It has to decide who's got the 400 HP. Where did they get these figures from?
Every time
So rough.
he like silently prays that this is the patch where people return to this game. This is the patch where my
Yeah,
work gets
yeah.
to shine.
Yeah.
But it never happens.
Isn't what God. I feel like what's gonna happen in Lords of Vermilion, like decades from now, when we're all old,
Mm.
someone's gonna there's gonna be a stupid little fact book about video games. Like, did you know in Final Fantasy 14 there was an RTS mode? And then we're just like,
Yeah.
what?
How
That
did
sounds
you get
fake. We will have suppressed
lol
the
killer.
memory.
Yeah, the lol killer. Oh my god. Do you remember who threw that? I think we said that
It was
ironically.
you, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think that
It
was
was you
that,
specifically.
definitely ironic, but I remember saying
hope
that
it was
before.
ironic.
Because remember they made all those cringy ads with the
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah,
Do
they
you
were
have what
great.
it takes to become the Lord of Vermilion? It was so over the top and stupid.
Yeah.
I
I
loved
wanted
it.
to fight a Goobu that's twice as tall as your Goobus. Lord of Vermilion.
Oh, it was good.
Sad thing is, it's kind of like technically super impressive,
Yes.
It is.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't really
Like-
understand how they can fix it. Like,
No, they
it's no
can't.
way to fix it. I
Change
think.
it into Pokemon or something. Jeez, just
That's what it should have been from
defeat.
the start.
Yeah, it should have.
it should have been Pokemon. So much.
Hmm.
I can say with Lords of Vermilion, like, oh, it's impressive. It's extremely impressive for what it is, right?
Yeah.
Can't say that for Chocobo Racing. I think it's shit all around. Like, I
Yeah.
Until
I
Race
hate
is-
the like
That's
on
purely the
rails
server,
shit.
though.
Oh goodness me, I hate
Why?
it.
It's on rails.
We're not. It's our game is not designed for some sort of real time, essentially kart racer.
They tried.
It's not.
They
but
tried.
like, I appreciate the attempt,
Yeah.
but this is the worst
Yeah,
kart
but it-
racer I've had to play in my life.
I hate having to like when there's like a power up in the air, you have to jump.
Oh, you
like
gotta jump
fuck-
like 3
Yeah.
weeks before, yeah.
Yes, you have to
Awful.
like know exactly.
It's
Like
so
3 seconds before I'm there, I have to jump to get it. It's very yeah. Oh, what a
I think
system!
they can't
the
do it,
favorite
just don't
thing
do it.
about it
Mm.
is that even if you just play with NPCs, the lag is still there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I'm surprised they didn't go for like, because 11 has chocobo racing, but they just have a system where you enter into the race and you can place bets, and then
Yeah.
you watch the race, and it is just
Should have just been like horse racing or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do they not have some
Which is
weird
also
thing with
still kind of
gambling?
boring, and I wouldn't do it. But
some weird thing with gambling.
I'm sure they had something with gambling in this game.
Yes, well, I don't know if you place. Do you place bets? I never did. I think.
I mean, like, they
Well,
didn't want to
if-
bring
if-
in blackjack and stuff.
No.
That's why they
Yeah,
brought
there's
in
definitely
Mark
gambling laws, and so they can't do stuff like that. But I don't know. I can't remember. Okay, well, that's that. I think we're quite well off. There's always stuff to do. It just sucks that you have to do old content to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's always stuff to do, but it's especially bad now. But it's kind of,
Yeah.
I don't know.
There
Feels
wasn't
like it's becoming a bit of a trend.
there wasn't enough content in the previous patch to keep us entertained for the next patch.
For sure.
No, unfortunately not.
hey,
yeah.
with some of the downtime, you can do some other stuff.
You
Go
can.
play Destiny 2. They just got glamours.
Are you gonna
Just-
are you gonna
Hang on.
advertise for other games
Sorry,
on
what?
this 14
Right.
podcast?
Well,
I haven't played Destiny 2 in a while, I don't know. But they're just getting just now getting glamours, which is
Mm.
very funny to me.
I think what Rod is trying to emphasize is Yoshi-P's stance on
Yeah.
if there's nothing.
What
to
you
do, go
should
do
have said,
something.
Rollo, is that you can play Final Fantasy 11. You can play Final
Yeah.
Fantasy 11
No.
or Dragon
Please
Quest,
still give us
whatever that
money.
one's called, that MMO.
I was going to say that you could, rather than bring up a 20-plus-year-old game, I would have said maybe you can play this Final Fantasy VII remake.
Oh,
in
that's
this
true.
free
There
time.
are
Yeah,
recent games
that's a
as well
good
that you
one.
can play.
Maybe it was planned. They knew 7.
Ah, yes.
They were like, "Fuck it,
I have seen
we're
the
gonna
11
tank every other."
screenshots. We can talk about that on the post show, maybe. All right. Well, we have to read some MogMail. Let's get some MogMail out of the
Oh,
way. That is the end of the great discussion. Drought, bad content, lacking,
Drought
Old
bad
content.
bad game bad.
plentiful. MogMail.
Thank you.
Does it have the MogMail jingle still?
The what? The what? What? Oh wait,
You
that's.
mean the sound of the letter arriving?
I like that we went back straight to this screen.
We're
when
not.
it's
We're not
designed to do
supposed
that.
to. We're not supposed to do that.
Oh,
We're doing it again. What?
Hey,
Hey,
it's just blackness.
We're having some problems with MogMail today. There we go.
That's what I see when I sleep.
I mean, it's true, but
Yeah, it's true. Okay, this MogMail is coming to us from Genova Tia from Twintania. Hi and hello, speakers. I hope you're doing well. For some time, I've been thinking and predicting stuff that's going to happen after we resolve the Garlean Empire problem and direct our gaze towards the Asians and Zodiark. There have been lots of hints that the moon is somehow linked with Zodiark, either having the old fellow up in there, or the moon is working as some kind of seal. Not to mention having cutscenes with Asians up there. As we all know, Final Fantasy is known for making characters travel up to the moon during the course of the whole game series, and I think we are not going to be any different. The question is, how do we travel up there? And I recently got an idea while flying across the peaks in search for hunts. Nyunkrepf's hope came into my eyes, and I realized why I've always thought of the ship as being super weird. It's supposedly an ark or an airship with no upper decks that is found on pretty much every airship aside from Garlean ones. This makes it look very solid. I saw it has a little path going up to it and a door to enter. Whether or not this is a dungeon entrance or some kind of cut content from Stormblood, I have no clue. But to me, I see a vessel that could easily be made to fly us to the moon. Even if my predictions here will not come to pass, I'm very interested in the boat. My question is, how do you think it's going to be used, if at all? Eager to hear your thoughts. That's interesting, because we've talked about Nyunkrepf's ship, because he's... that ship is very obvious... a point of interest. Like, you can see it everywhere in that area.
Yeah.
And it has a
Yeah.
door. And I thought that was going to be a dungeon. that is 100% dungeon material. It has this like weird like design, and it looks kind of out of place. Never touched it. We never touched it. There's a mention of it in some quests, but that's about it. What do you think?
Chat, no, Nyunkrepf's hope cannot fly.
No,
The explanation as to how it ended up being where it is it was during the calamity of during the calamity of water, and they were sailing somewhere. Then something caused, like, they were in danger of like ship capsizing at some point for some reason. I can't remember exactly what the danger was.
Wasn't there a storm or something? There was,
I would say it was probably a storm. Yeah,
something like that.
And then Nyunkrepf used those forbidden like ethereal technologies like Y'shtola does to teleport.
Yeah.
Except he managed to make it work, and they ended up teleported to the top of the peaks.
Yes.
Yeah. I think I'd be pretty sad if his ship disappeared from the zone, to be honest, and just became some dumb,
that's sad.
Like spaceship we go to the moon on as well.
Because now it's just like a curious thing that's there. It's like an interesting, just because it's in Garabania, which is in a very drab area of Garabania. Without that ship, that would be a very boring looking zone. There's nothing else there.
I think it's just a piece of historical interest at this point. It's just lore. It's not.
I really believe it was planned to be used for something at some point. But I think just like the ziggurat, it just ended up being like.
Well, we know what the ziggurat was going to be used for. They had intended for the Kern to be the third beast tribe in Stormblood.
Yeah.
And then they were going to use that area for Kern beast tribe quests, but then the development team fell in love with the Namazu, and then they replaced them, unfortunately.
Oh, maybe.
Or fortunately.
Yeah.
Maybe the ship was also going to be part of the beast tribe.
Yeah, that's also possible.
Yeah, it's true.
The Qatari are known as like historians and archivists. Maybe that was going to be the case for the Kern in the peaks as well.
Yeah, that's true. In terms of the moon, we've talked about it a lot, so I don't think we need to bring that back up. But I think at some point, not using that ship though, I don't think the ship is going to be used. But I think at some point we will have to at least appear on the moon in some form, shape, or form.
Yeah, I mean,
like maybe a battle. It might not be a zone. It might just be like an instance battle somewhere on the moon.
The moon does feel like the kind of final. Does have that final zone aesthetic that Azizla and the Tempest have, though.
Yes, that's true.
Not the locks, but the other two that I mentioned.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yes. All right. Thank you. Atia. Next is coming to us from Noir Niacin. Niacin. I'm going to say Niacin. In 5.2, we have learned that everyone might be able to get the Echo and become a warrior of light, but since the Garleans are inept to naturally controlling ether, they developed the artificial Echo in form of the Resonance. Since we also haven't seen any pureblood Garleans on the first, I have the theory that they aren't sundered ancient people, but rather clones or artificial machines. Ooh, we're going deep here. That's a deep theory. I
like this theory.
Yeah. The Garleans kind of... Yeah. I haven't thought about this.
Imagine the Garleans just being an elegant, like, chimera of some kind.
Yeah. How fitting for their empire.
I suppose, in a way, like, if Emet-Sup did build Allagan and they had developed cloning technology and all that, and then he decided to develop Garlemald afterwards as his full pet project, he could have just installed some sort of artificial.
Yeah, the Garleans are like all about cloning. They have cloning technology down to a T. Like that technology is perfected in Garlemald. So, that is possible because they can't because they need artificial Echo. They cannot get the Echo in any other way, which is not which goes kind of unexplained, I guess, after Shadowbringers. Like, Before we were just
Well-
like, that's just how they work. That is just they
Yeah.
are. That's their
Remember-
race cannot handle like magic. That is just Garleans. That's how they are.
Mm.
But
That's such
Shadowbringers,
a weird thing to think about.
yeah, it.
Because
Well,
like
Yeah.
we're already kind of shitty. Because like we're sundered. We're like, oh, we can use magic, but like not like we could before, sort
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah.
But then imagine
Yeah.
being a Garlean, which is like even shittier. Of like they can't do anything.
Yeah.
It seems so. And no one, they don't like. No one other race has
Hey,
troubles with magic like there are
They
some that are
can
more
do s-
depth.
they can do
But-
something, Rollo. They have greater depth perception with their third eye.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's better than magic.
Um.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then if they're
You can
clones, why would they just be
It-
randomly hanging
yeah,
around in
see,
Eorzea
yeah,
and then get
It
pushed
would
out?
it would mess up the established timeline and the story or the
Yeah.
lore that is established for Garlemald with them being like the kind of bullied
The
by the
exile.
Eorzeans before
We
Emmet.
we still don't really know like the history of the Garleans before the 6th astral era. Because when did they come about?
Well, we don't know.
Like,
But
when did their race spring up? Because we have no
That's true.
real evidence of
It-
races without magic prior
Yeah.
to the 6th astral era.
Which is kind of actually, now that I think about it, makes the timeline make more sense because at some point these Ilsabardians made contact with Eorzeans or I guess Aldenardians, and they were like, "Ew, you can't use magic." And they're like, "Beep bop, beep bop." And they're like, "Okay, get out of here, bitch." And that's how the Garleans became oppressed, and they made their own empire or republic first. Maybe that could be why. Yeah, that's
There's no
interesting.
mention of anything similar on like the first either.
No,
So it's very.
No.
I mean, they maybe something like that did exist. And they were just destroyed in the flood, but
well, so far it would be weird though if they never mentioned the existence. Well, we don't. They wouldn't need to have like an empire or be evil on the first. But well, okay,
some
that's
people really inept at magic, and they already suck at magic on the first compared to like people on the source. So imagine being
yes.
a Garlean on the first. Well, you'd be inept at everything. I don't know.
Imagine if Garleans prior to like when they were included significantly within history were like seen as beast tribe,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why they were sort of never fully recorded in history up until the point that they became culturally significant.
Yeah, like
I mean, because we've discussed before that
they're very mean, the Eorzeans. So
yeah, we've talked how beast tribe designation is very arbitrary.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, okay, so
Yeah,
people are
maybe
bringing
that's
up. I can never pronounce. How do you pronounce it? Gog.
Gog.
The Evilesian storyline is hinting at the possibility that Garleans and the Gogans are the Garleans' ancestors. Like that's where the Garleans sprung out from. But we don't really have much more than that. That's all we know about that.
And also,
And they could use magic, couldn't they?
Yeah, Evolutions can use magic. I want to know why
What
they
if
would have
they
lost
are
their magic.
clones of the Gorgons? Huh? And because they're clones,
Who made them?
they can't. Well, who made Emmet? Emmet was like, I need a people, and he just grabbed them. I guess. And I don't know.
You're saying Eric cloned the Googans and then just chucked them onto Aldenard to get Buddy into Ilsabard and then form an empire that he fought.
Maybe that was like a side effect he didn't anticipate. Like, oh wait, they can't do magic.
I mean, is it mentioning that? Yeah, the Echo and controlling ether and blah blah blah, but magic wasn't originally around during the early eras anyway. It came out at some point, like the second, third.
Magic has at least been around since the third, as far as we know.
So there was a point when no one pretty much could do it. yes. Was that
Well,
the motorbike?
Yeah,
Is
that
he
was my
back?
motorbike man. He's back.
Oh.
Yes. Right. Well, we need to wrap up. Actually, we're running over time. But yes, this is very interesting. Need some time to think about
Yeah.
this because I've not thought about this at all. It's weird because we've talked about how the Garleans, there's no equivalent to Garleans on the first. Is there a
No.
reason for that? There might
Yeah.
be. There might be.
Maybe.
If there's some sort of elegant creation, it would, because consider Ixal don't exist on the first either.
It's true, but they can. Yeah, that's true.
That's a good point.
Well, that makes sense though. The Ixal shouldn't exist because the. Am I
Yeah,
spoiling?
because they were made by Elegans.
Yeah, they're made by
so
Elegans. Yeah. Okay. Right.
Spoilers. That's like 4.1.
Okay. Right. Thanks for watching, everyone. That's the end of the episode. Remember to follow the Twitter at SpeakersXIV, twitch.tv/SpeakersOfHydaelyn, youtube.com/SpeakersXIV, exclamation Discord in chat if you want to join our Discord server. If you're watching on demand, links in the description. Stay tuned for the post show. Questions from the Syndicate is coming up, and as well as possibly the music tournament where we will be looking at dungeon music. So make sure you catch that. Goodbye!